afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So this is Mindful Heaven, very first time podcasting. So we are hosting from Islamabad in Pakistan. So today, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about the voices of recovery, which is called the podcasting, which is coming from the drug addiction department and living with addiction episode. First of all, I will introduce our company. So our company is Mindful Heaven Company, which is running in the Islamabad in the online basic. So what we do, let's discuss about what we do as a Mindful Heaven. So we do many health sector services, mental health services. So we have many departments, such as we have clinical departments, we have counseling departments, and we have a training and education department. Plus we have some we publish some e-magazine, newsletters and all. And basically in Mindful Heaven, what we do is we do services, for the individuals, to boost their wellness, to their career advancement with the not only for the educational, even their psychotic disorders, whatever the disorders they have faced. So Mindful Heaven will, it's like a heaven to the individuals who are suffering from some mental health issues. So we have a big psychologist, we have a doctors in our department, our company. We have many psychologists, qualified clinical psychologists we have. So we are happy to say that in Mindful Heaven would be the this Mindful Heaven organization will work now not only in Pakistan individually, even for the society, even for the not only the country. So even beyond that, for the global. So we do services. We have educational, we do workshops, we do webinars. So a lot of stuff are there. So, all right. So that's how the Mindful Heaven organization. Apart from that, I would like to be honored, especially for the founder of the Mindful Heaven, Miss Husna. So she has a great idea about this Mindful Heaven organization. Because of her idea, so we are talking about Mindful Heaven. So I would like to thank her about her idea. So this Mindful Heaven is running smoothly as of now. All right, now we'll come to the episode of Voices of Recovery. So this is our very first podcasting from broadcasting from Mindful Heaven, and under Voices of Recovery. So we have an episode called Living of Addiction. Okay, so let me introduce our main guest today. So she's on the line now. She is who has bravely walked the path of addiction and recovery, She has many years of experience in psychological background and even the rehabilitation centers. She is a public speaker. She is an educational counselor, and she is working with special needs children as well. And for example, she worked in Sunrise Healing Drug Rehabilitation Center and Psychiatric Treatment Centers in Pakistan. And she has been working in many academies in Pakistan and even around the globe in online basic. Okay, so let's welcome to her. Her name is Sunila Istia. Hi, Sunila. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast.
All right, Miss Sunila. So, Sunila will today, this is because of our very first podcasting about voices of recovery. I just want to give some insight about if you heard about the voices of recovery,
Yes, it's
what do
the
you
first.
feel?
Yes, I feel glad about that. That I am the first guest who has been who is joining this podcast.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
so I'm so happy for this session, podcast session.
Yes. So I am also delighted to, I will be the first host from the Mindful Heaven podcasting. So I am very happy about this. So I will introduce myself. I am Samantha Hevage. I am from Sri Lanka. So at the moment, I am currently work as a head of drug addiction department in for Mindful Heaven. All right. Okay, now we'll come to the very first question I'm asking our our chief guest expertise from she's from Sunila. So my first question would be, can you elaborate? Can you give the insight or can you give idea about what do you mean by drugs and how we are differ from the drugs with the drug abuse or the drug misuse as of your understanding and your experience, how you explain this?
Okay, so drug is anything you put in your body that
Yeah.
changes how you feel and how
Mhm.
your body works.
Yeah.
So this can be any medicine or
Uh-huh.
any medicine prescribed from the doctor or
Yes.
a cup of coffee from that keeps you awake or any other drug like alcohol or any illegal stuff like heroin or cocaine.
Yeah.
So if I come towards the substance abuse or misuse, so
Yeah.
using any drug in a wrong way, like in a harmful or unsafe way, so it could be drug substance misuse or abuse. So if I'll
Yes.
exemplify this thing, so taking more medicines than the doctor told you,
Yeah.
or
Prescribed.
you
Yes. More than
or you take,
prescription. Yeah.
yes, against your prescription, and taking someone else medicine, like if your brother or sister is using the medicine and you take that medicine, so it's also considered as substance misuse. And other than that is drinking too much alcohol
Yeah.
and using drugs to make you that makes you feel high or
Yes.
forget all your problems to make you feel to forget all of your problems. So
Yes.
so this could be considered as drug
Abuse.
misuse or abuse.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yeah,
So
misusing. Yes, yeah. As Sunila said, so I just add some points about Sunila's discussion as well. Sunila's point as well. So the drug is like we use drugs for recover from diseases, right? Cure from diseases, right? For for example, we use antibiotics, right? We use some injections, right? We use some pills, medicines, right? So for what? So cure from diseases, to protect from diseases. But when it's come to the drug abuse or the drug misuse of the drugs, so what the individual do? They use, right, more than the prescriptions of the either tablet, either they increase their dosage. So that's what do you mean by the misusing of the drugs? So as Sunila said, so misusing drugs, their intention would be they want to make high, they want to make some, right, intoxication, right? They want to make some right? Euphoria. They want to get some euphoria from the abusing of the drugs. That's what their expectations. So people should know that if anyone listening to this podcasting of living with addiction, you remember that, because why you are going to be addict? Because you are going to misuse the drugs. Why you are going to misuse the drug? You have some wrong myth, right? Myth is anyway wrong, right? Myth. You are craving for the myth and you are taking the drugs. So which is misusing the drugs. Okay. Thank you very much for your contribution, Miss Sunila. Okay, Sunila, I want to discuss another point where I feel that which is very important throughout this discussion. The next question would be, can you tell me, how do you define the addiction, the word of addiction? So what kind of an idea? Very simple, and even you can elaborate this addiction with some example you have in your life. And as I said that, so you have gone through brave path in the drug world, because you have been working with many substance use people suffering from substance use disorders. You have working with those clients. So it's a very, right, as my knowledge, it's a very big tough work you have done. You have done tremendous work. So can you elaborate from those experience? Can you elaborate about the addiction of drugs or drug addiction?
As now you know that what is drug. So addiction is not about the willpower like most of the people think.
Yeah,
It's actually a brain disorder like any other disorder, any other condition like diabetes or
yeah.
hypertension. Like you have to
Oh,
manage, like you have to
yes,
manage that manage addiction.
yes.
So how it is a brain disorder, like it wires your brain reward system
Mm-hmm.
to need a substance to function normally.
Yeah,
So you have so that person have to take that drug to function in a proper way. And the thing is, their reward system is actually disturbed after taking, after getting addicted to drugs.
yeah.
So after getting addicted, if even if they want to stop using that drug, they have extreme withdrawals, like
Yes, they got
they get sick,
withdrawals.
that
Yes.
yes, yes, they get sick, that those person get sick,
Mm-hmm.
and couldn't able to stop using without any proper medical
Medication.
guidance. Yes,
Yes.
medication.
Correct.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I will example, I will provide the example of this thing
Okay.
is
Yeah.
like if a person like eat donuts. So if a normal person eat donuts, so
Yeah.
it's like the person will think that wow, that's great. And
Mm-hmm.
brain will give you such reaction that wow, that's great, let's do that again if you like
Yes.
that donut. Yes. And
Same thing
if you
happened in the drug addiction as well.
yes, yes,
Am I
same
right?
thing. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
same thing happen in the drug addiction as well. Like if you imagine taking any other drug, like if you take heroin,
Yeah.
then the brain gives same reaction, like wow, that's great, and let's do
Yeah.
that again. But this
Mm-hmm.
time it's not just like a donut. It's like it will make the things more complicated. And
Yes.
and the real addiction makes that condition more intense. And
That means they have more craving on that.
yes,
Yes.
more craving on that, and they can't just quit with their willpower.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's very good explanation. As yeah, in my opinion also. So even the addiction. So I know that. So we as a psychologist arena, we know that we use DSM-5 or ICD, right? Some diagnosis and statistical manual. So under that manual, there are some criteria, right? In the additions, there are 11 criteria. Out of 11 criteria, there has to be at least 2 criteria should be satisfied to become a addiction of drugs. And so that those addiction also mild addiction, right? So we have some, we have a mild addiction, right? We have some, moderate addiction and the severe addiction. So that's the criteria coming from the DSA, right? Right, diagnostic and statistical manual. Now we have a new one is a text revision, right? We say that RT1. So anyway, so under those conditions, if some individual, right, misusing the drugs, right, according to those criteria, if they met those criteria, so psychologically, the psychiatric doctors define as he is suffering from substance use disorder. So that's what the addiction. So addiction, as Sunila said, it's a brain disease. It's the problem in the brain. Remember that. It's not the human issue. It's a brain issue, right? It's, as she said, it's like a diabetes, right? It's like a other, some. So only we can do for, we can manage, right? All right. I think nice explanation, right? So, okay, Miss Sunila. So I am going to will move forward. Now, if you can tell me, as you are experienced, I know you have been working in Islamabad rehab centers as well, and you have been many experience on this drug track. So, as your knowledge and expertise, can you elaborate to our audience about what kind of drugs are available in the global or in the Asia or in specifically in Pakistan perspective? So in Pakistan, most of the people are what kind of drugs they are using, and give some insight to the general public as your expertise. Can you elaborate?
Basically, if I will consider the global market, so alcohol is the most common used
Yes.
drug, legalized drug basically.
Yes, that's a
available.
legalized and most worsened drugs, Miss Sunila, as my knowledge.
Yes.
It's the most worsened tobacco and the alcohol. But no one, but you know
Talks
what
about.
has happened? The society will allow them to credit that. So they don't want to, they don't want to reject that. They don't want to neglect that. But we have to, by using these podcasting, we have to show them, okay, these are the most dangerous drugs in the world, alcohol and the tobacco. All right,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, other than alcohol and tobacco, there are a lot more legalized drugs, including sleeping pills and anxiety medications. People usually get it very easily from their drugstores and misuse that drug and also get addicted to that drug. Other than that, usually people use painkillers, including tramadol or codeine-based medicines for their addiction purposes. And other than that, usually, yes, the cough syrups. Cough syrups are very commonly used and used among the street children usually to get high. Yes. So in especially in the Asian market, it's very commonly inhalants, and the cough syrups are very commonly practiced among street children, to get addicted. And if I'll consider about illegal drugs, so illegal drugs are still found in the black market. So that includes cannabis like weed or hashish or heroin. Heroin is very commonly produced in the global production triangle zone.
Yes, that is, we have 2 triangles, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And other than that is methamphetamine. So it's also
Methamphetamine, ice.
very,
That is called ice, right?
yes, also ice, also known as
Yes.
ice. So
Oh,
it
man.
is also very commonly used in Asian countries.
Yes.
Other than that,
That is spread widely spread in this
yes,
methamphetamine. Yes.
yes, it's widely spreading. And other than that is ecstasy. That
Yeah,
is
that is some party drugs. Yes,
yes, party
clubbing
drug,
drugs. Yeah.
MDMA. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. So so these are usually used in the party scenes and the places where parties are usually in the bars or clubs. So it's easily available over there.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and also the ketamine is used side by side when people are taking ecstasy from their
Mm-hmm.
bars or clubs, then they also get ketamine from there. Practice using that, and these drugs usually give them the
Yes.
feeling of high and like that stuff.
Yes.
So these all
Okay.
of these drugs, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miss Sunila. So that's good. And can you tell me what are the most addictive drugs out of these? Can you categorize? Give some hint about the most addictive drugs.
Heroin is one of the topmost drugs that gives addiction. Heroin and methamphetamine,
Yes, ice. Mm-hmm.
ice, yes, ice. So, and also other than that, it's nicotine.
Yes, nicotine also, but most addicted, the smoking and all.
Smoking and all,
Very
yes.
difficult. People cannot, they smoke. They say that they have some myth. They have I smoke for my pressure, release my pressure, release my stress. I am just boring because that I smoke. When I go to the beach, for example, I want to have a fag, and so that's what they think. So even they stay alone, they want to spend their time in. They do smoke. So that those are the some myth. They because but not the myth. The psychology they have addiction in the brain, the tobacco, right? So nicotine, right? So nicotine request, okay, nicotine makes some craving, right? Then people they tend to, okay, you get some nicotine. So that's the idea. So the body and the mental, they urge you to get somewhere from the nicotine, even from the boutique, get some cigarette, get some vapor, right? So get some vapor, something like that. So that's the addiction. So the nicotine is the worst addiction in the world because there are many people are dying because of the tobacco products. All right.
Yes, additionally,
Yeah. Go ahead.
yes, additionally, alcohol, if I'll consider that, its
Uh-huh.
withdrawal symptoms are very bad. Uh,
Yes, yes.
it's legal and withdrawals are very bad.
Very
But
bad.
yes, very bad. But if I'll say sugar, its addiction is very, very common. The addiction of sugar. And
Yes.
other than that, if I'll say social media or gambling or gaming, so these are the things that very common among teenagers or the
Yes.
youngsters in our community. And
Mm-hmm.
it actually hijacks the brain in the similar way any drug does.
Yes,
So
correct.
and people don't take that seriously and don't consider for any treatment or anything like how to get rid of that. So it's also
Yes.
a
That's the
considerable thing.
worst thing. That's the good point, Miss Sunila. You have addressed good point. As my knowledge, you have addressed very key point, which is people will not go and get treatments. So that is the worst scenario in this society. So so they have some stigma, right? They have some stigma. So they feel that, okay, if I go to the doctor, so then they will reveal to the outside world. So if I go to the counselor, they will reveal. No, as a counselor, we protect, we protect our clients' information, right? We can't disclose, right? So we have a lot of, counseling skills. So that's what the counselor is. That's the name of that's the definition of the counselor. So we have a unconditional positive regards, right? We have a active listening, right? We have a empathy, right? So we have a lot of counseling qualities when we deal with our clients. So I want to tell to the audience. So you don't worry if you are addicted to anything, right? Even not in the drugs, like say eating disorders, right? Whatever the things, if you are addicted, as Sunila said, even the gambling, right? Even the gaming. Now recently in the DSM there's a new disorder. What's the disorder? Internet gaming disorder. There's a newly introduced internet gaming disorder. Mostly it is, it is occurred from the children, right? From the adolescent stage. So they are addicted to the games. They are mobile addiction are there, right? Gaming addiction are there. Even the sex addiction are there. So these are some part of the addiction, right? So I want to tell to my audience, right, as on behalf of the Mindful Heaven. So don't worry about any addiction if you suffer. So there to yet to recovery, we can recover, right? There are some mechanisms, right? There are some psychological treatments. There are some proven, right? There are some proven, and we have a evidence-based treatment, right? We do that treatment, right? So you go to the psychiatric doctor. You talk to your issue with them, and you will get a solution, right? Don't afraid to the any addiction. So even you somehow, right, you make this addiction. So let's say it's because of your friends or because of your curiosity, because of peer pressure, whatever the reason. At the end of the day, now you are addicted. Now what you want to do? That's a path of recovery. So that's what we start a voices of recovery. What do you think, Sunila? Right?
Yes, sir, you are right.
Yeah.
It is a major issue in our society, and we need to recover from that addiction as soon as possible and go to the particular practitioner, mental
Yes.
health practitioner as soon
Of
as
course.
possible.
Yes.
Uh,
So we are responsible for that. So you don't worry. If the audience, any audience, if you are addicted to anything, so you call to Mindful Heaven, right? We have a number. We will display our number in our thumbnail, right? You can get our number, hotline number. So we have many clinical psychologists. We have a specialized drug addiction people, counselors are there under our organization. So we are in the recovery path. So we show the path of recovery. We will show you. You just walk there. That's what we are doing here also. What do you think, Sunila?
Yes, we all of us are specialized in this drug addiction as well as in other mental health conditions for the treatment purposes. So you can call us or you can text us whatever you want to. So
Yes.
we are
Yes.
here for
Okay,
that.
Sunila. So I will come to the this would be the last question. Right. So I have some another two questions from Miss Sunila, because you are so you are the best person I can ask from this because of your expertise and all. Okay, can you tell me? See, it's like this. When some people are addicted to the drugs very easily, and some people not like that. Do you know any difference, Miss Sunila, in your experience?
Yes, actually, the most important thing that
Yeah.
that makes a person get addicted
Uh-huh.
earlier is its genes. Usually
Genes.
when they're
Oh.
yes, usually when the ancestors, anyone from father or your grandfather or your mother, anybody, if that person is addicted to any drug or using any drug, and then it comes to your gene, and you can easily get addicted if you have any if you see any drugs or have any access to that drug, so that person can easily get addicted. Another
Yeah.
thing is the environment. If a person grew in an environment like if the father is addicted to any sort of drug,
Father.
so
Okay.
so anybody, like anybody at home, so it makes a person, it makes that child think that it must be something very tasty or something very good that I should also try. So environment. Another thing in the environment is that peer pressure. Usually when any adolescent goes to the school or in the college,
Yes.
these people, so that child feel that it's cool to use any vaping device or
Yes.
anything, or
Sunila,
using
yeah,
cigarette. Yes.
yeah. So you said a good point. I just want to interrupt you 1 second. So you said that the some children, the adolescent stage, they love to, because of the peer pressure, they love to taste that, right? They love to
Yes.
use that. They love to experiment that. So that's what. So we can give a message to our audience of our parenting message like this, right? If you have a kids, even the girl or boy, doesn't matter, if they are age like after 12, 13 to 15 to 13 to 17, 19 years old, like adolescent stage, if your kid is in the adolescent stage, if your kid is go to a school like grade 7 from grade 8, please remember that you have to pass the message to your kids very, very serious. We saying that son or daughter, if somebody asking take something, okay, this make it more high, for example, this make you in heaven. So you say that don't take it. You just neglect and go back to your classroom or somewhere. So you give that message. So that is called prevention is better than cure. Remember, my audience, my dear audience, I would like to emphasize this. Prevention is better than cure. So you have you have a responsibility as a parent, right? As a parent, you have a many responsibility. You protect your kids, right? Please share this message to your kids, right? Before they take the drugs, you say you have to think, okay, this will happen. Some student will bring the things at school. Some student request to take alcohol, take beer. Okay, you come, and especially for the weeds, some cannabis and all. So ask your children to, okay, just neglect and just avoid from those things. What do you think, Sunila? Is that the good idea? What do you think about it?
Yes, it's a very good idea, and the children should also know its effects, that that how their life would be after using the drugs. Like if they want, if they could you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, okay. So if they will use any drug, they might not get any girlfriend, or they will not be accepted by any job, like
Yes, that's good point. Yes, very valid
and
point.
and
Yes,
there are also multiple places where they are not get accepted, so
yes,
they must have to think about that before using that drug, that how their life would be impacted. And
yes,
even if they would be caught in their academic environment,
yes,
their school authorities will also take strict strict notices or something, they will
Some
struck them
disciplinary
from
actions.
school.
They can
Yes,
take some
yes,
disciplinary actions. Yeah.
yes, disciplinary actions. Yes. So
Yeah,
this
that's a
is,
good point. Yes, I think Sunila has Sunila has came with the good points where the student what the if the student will addicted to that kind of a tobacco and other substances, what will happen to them? The Sunila said that okay, she doesn't, let's say the boy, so boy cannot find a good girlfriend at least, right? Because her body shape and everything, her lips and all, the eyes are going inside, right? The whole the body and the shapes will be changed. Like it's no one can like, and there are some smell, right? Don't people will they don't like it. Even they don't like to talk with that kind of a person who takes some drugs. So society will neglect those persons, right? Some good society, they don't want them to come and join with them. So I think Sunila has raised very valid point to the student. They have to think this. What will happen if I do this, right? Have I get a good girlfriend? No, no, son, you never get good girl. Even you never get good friends. Even you never get good jobs. You can't do the job because of the addiction. You again jump into the addiction. You can only do the job like through 2 months, 3 months on. Remember that. Okay, Sunil, I think you have, you done very good points. You have raised about the kids. I think they love it. Okay, so this is not the, this is last, not the least. So so now we are coming to the end of the last question about living with addiction. This is the episode 1, session 1. So I would like to, before that, I would like to tell that. So by to next session, so our Mariam, so there's our another substance use counselors are there in our mindful heaven. She's Mariam Kalai. So Mariam, next episode, she will also join it. So it will be more interesting, right? When the Mariam comes. So today I think because of she had some urgent matters, so we couldn't get her. But anyway, by next week onwards, next session onwards, she will be also joining with us. So then this will be interactive. Okay, last but not the least, Miss Sunila, are you ready?
yes, yes, I am ready.
All right. Okay, this my last question would be for you about what kind of a, right? Let's say if someone is addicted, let's say it could be a student, it could be some adult person. Is there any symptoms so society can identify, even their relative can identify, okay, my neighbor has a problem, my son has a problem, I thought. So then, because, so remember, when you identify if the person is addicting to the substance, you don't afraid, as I said earlier. No, Sunila, they don't want to afraid, right? There are some recovery process. So that's what we do. That's a recovery system, right? So you get the support. You contact the support group. Okay, my question would be, Miss Sunila, what are the features? What are the characteristics, right? If some person, we can just guess, okay, he or she has a kind of a substance addiction. Any symptoms from her body or from her actions? What do you think? Can you give some idea?
Yes, if we will consider the bodily symptoms like the physical signs, so the
Uh-huh.
most important one is their weight loss or gain.
Yeah, weight loss.
If
Uh-huh.
it's sudden, you should consider it. Another thing is the bloodshot eyes or dilated pupils.
Uh-huh.
So in most of the drugs, if one is addicted to drugs, so usually it's a sign. Another thing that's common in almost all of the drugs is their poor hygiene or neglected appearance. So that person is not take care of its hygiene.
Uh-huh.
And another thing is unusual body odor. So it's very common in drugs like alcohol or smoking. So these people have poor body odor. So another thing is the
Yes. Uh-huh.
frequent nosebleeds. So it's common when anyone takes any drugs, snorting drugs basically. So
Mm-hmm.
the snorting drugs makes the person bleed frequently, nosebleed.
Yes.
Other than the physical signs, there are also psychological and behavioral symptoms, the person gets high mood swings or get irritable or get
Uh-huh. Yes,
aggressive.
aggressive. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and side by side, the person usually gets anxious.
Yes,
And the
anxious.
most
Yes.
important one is the paranoia that the person
Yes,
think that
paranoia. Yes, paranoia about her family, her children, her spousey, whatever, no?
yes, that person think that that people are after me, that they want something from me and they are harming me or they are doing
Ah, yes.
something
Some
that
irrational thoughts also come in. Am I right? Some irrational
ye-
thoughts?
yes, yes. These
Uh-huh.
are usually thoughts.
Uh-huh.
Other than that is depression, which
Uh-huh.
is very common after
Yeah.
so much
Common to the
dopamine release.
substance use disorder clients. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
So after
And
so
even
much
anxiety also common, right?
yes, yes, it is
Uh,
very common. So there is a period of hyperactivity or lethargy in between all of these.
uh-huh.
Um, Another thing is these people have secretive behaviors like lying about whatever they are doing or where they
Yes, yes.
were.
Yeah,
So
they do some antisocial activities. Am I right?
yes, you are right. Usually, these people are involved in drug dealing or anything to get to gear
Yes,
their
yes, correct.
finances for drugs.
Mm,
So these have secretive behavior about all that.
yes.
Like if they would tell their family, so they know what will happen.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
so
people, actually, as frankly, I said to Sunila, most of the people, drug abuse individuals are not suffering. Actually, the suffering people are their families, their
yes,
kids, their wife, their husband, their relatives, even their neighbors, even the society. So those are the suffering people because of these addictions. The people should know, no? The society should know who will be suffer mostly. Mostly suffer not the addicted people. Mostly suffering because of these due to addiction, the people who are living with that addiction persons. So that's the reality in the life. All right. So it's a very wonderful. It was very wonderful session, Miss Sunila. So he's a clinical psychologist, right? As a today guest, she's a public speaker and she's an educational counselor and she's a child psychologist as well as she's teaching many academic environment and she have been working in drug rehabilitation centers and psychiatric treatment center and she is lecturing in the Medic Pro International Academy in UK. So I am very thrilled to ask this question from Sunila because Miss Sunila said beautiful advisors, right? So very vital advisors to the society, to the children, to the parents. So I think our first episode of living with addiction is most successful because of the our most valuable resource person called Miss Sunila Isida. Okay, Miss Sunila. So, what do you think about this session?
Yes, I was. It's very good. It's a very good session. I think we should do more sessions like that, so people would be aware of their substance use, as well as about their children's, and also about the society, like how not to stigmatize any person, or how the community is facing such situations, because
Yes.
because the people who are doing, they are facing more than uh, any other person, so you should consider that thing as well. So I'm happy to join, to be a part of this session.
Yes. So she's the none other than Miss Sunila Istiar. So you can contact. She is available in Mindful Heaven. She's a clinical psychologist. If you have a, if you are parent, if somebody suffering from substance use disorder or any other mental illness, you call to the Mindful Heaven and ask for Sunila Istiar. So she will be supporting to you get rid of these these disorders and achieve the wellness in your life. Okay, so again, thank you very much, Miss Sunila. Is your valuable time. The great, I was very happy with you and a great time with you. So by next session we will meet. And until then, see you. Bye bye.